So there was a study that said 45% of women ages 25 to 44 are going to be single by the year 2030.
So 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030?
They're predicting that 40% of women will be single by the year 2030.
Recently, I've been hearing a lot of buzz around the 2019 Morgan Stanley study that predicts 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030.
And for Christmas this year, I would like a mustached man, full of tattoos, crazy biceps waiting for me under my Christmas tree.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
So despite being a millionaire, I'm alone at Nobu on a Tuesday night. So no, it doesn't get better. And no, money does not buy friends or love or happiness.
Girl, I got blocked by a 37-year-old man because I didn't text him back fast enough. I've heard of this. I know it exists. I know it's a fucking thing. Are y'all telling anyone before you exchange numbers? Had he told me when he asked for my number, hey, FYI, I have pretty strict communication expectations.
Wait, so we're opening with a prediction that millions of women could be single by 2030, and then immediately we get a woman wishing for a tattooed, muscular man under her Christmas tree. Nah, the timing is wild. Then comes the millionaire saying she's alone on a Tuesday night, followed by the 37-year-old who got blocked for not texting fast enough. Bro, this went from dating statistics to texting warfare real quick. And trust me, the standards debate is just getting started.
I will block you if you don't respond within 24 hours. I would have been like, hey, I completely understand.
As women, can't we just be honest about the fact that a lot of girls aren't lonely because they can't find a decent man who's respectable, or men aren't men anymore? They're lonely because the expectations of what they want out of a relationship do not equate with who they are in relationships. You say you want a man who's emotionally mature, but whenever you're losing an argument, you start crying. That's emotional manipulation. Some of y'all want a man who's consistent, but you don't even post content consistently, let alone go to the gym consistently, and don't.
Did we really just turn a missed text into a full courtroom case? Apparently, 24 hours without replying is enough for an immediate block. And now we're getting the bigger argument. Some people want emotional maturity, consistency, communication, and a six-figure man, while supposedly struggling with those same qualities themselves. I mean, if your relationship requirements are taller than your own self-awareness, we've got a problem. And the next comparison is about to get even more brutal.
Let alone go to the gym consistently, and don't get me started on the meal plan you said you were going to start 3 weeks ago for your winter arc. You want a man with great communication skills, but you crashed out on the last one because you thought he was gaslighting you or manipulating you or he was a narcissist. Stop letting people get you out of character. That means you don't have good communication skills. All I'm saying is you can't expect a high-value partner when you are not a high-value partner. This fantasy idea that all the men are the bad ones and all the girls are just 10 out of 10s waiting for someone perfect. You're not perfect. 10 out of 10 is perfect. You're not perfect. And neither is the man that is also on your level. But you won't even give him a chance because in your mind, you're a 10 and he's a 5. But in reality, you're both 6s.
Nah, the I'm a 10, he's a 5 argument just entered the chat. The point being made here is basically that people can overestimate their own dating value while demanding someone from the absolute top tier. Then comes the pump and dump argument, where the commentary gets seriously savage. Wait, because now we're not just talking about standards anymore. We're talking about why those standards might actually be creating the exact loneliness people complain about. This is getting uncomfortable.
Sit with that. The uncomfortable truth here, ladies, is that the dating market and the men are not the only problem. For a lot of the girls, self-awareness is the problem. Because you can't want better when you're not better.
You girls say, I choose to be single. No, you don't choose that. You don't choose this. We all know that we're looking for the same type of man, for the same man basically. That we're looking for the same type of man, for the same man basically. And there is a huge scarcity of this man. You don't choose anything. You're just doomed to think this way because you have no other choice but to be single. Obviously, you're not gonna date a loser because your standards are already high. So being lonely is literally your only choice.
Can we talk about why modern women are lonelier than ever? Because nobody wants to admit the real reason. I see it everywhere. successful women with amazing careers, perfect Instagram feeds, but they're absolutely miserable and isolated. And I know because I used to be one of them. We were told that independence was everything, that we didn't need anyone, that needing people.
Okay, now we're hitting the I'm single by choice debate, and the reaction is basically, are you really? That's a pretty serious claim, because the argument says people may call it choice when the real issue is that the person they actually want doesn't want commitment with them. Oof. That's going to sting for somebody. And just when you think the video is done roasting the dating market, a completely different perspective walks in and starts explaining why loneliness might be deeper than just finding a partner.
Was weakness, so we built these perfect little walls around ourselves. We chose careers over relationships, being right over being loved, and proving ourselves over connecting with others. We pushed away anyone who tried to get close to us because it was over connecting with others. We pushed away anyone who tried to get close to us because we had to be strong. And now we're sitting in our perfectly decorated apartments, scrolling through dating apps, wondering why we feel so empty inside. We have everything modern feminism promised us, but we've never been more alone. Because the truth is, humans are wired for connection. Especially women, we need community, partnership, and deep relationships. But we've been convinced that wanting these things makes us weak.
Wait, now the conversation shifts from standards to loneliness, and suddenly it's way more emotional. We're hearing about successful women with careers, polished apartments, perfect feeds, and yet feeling completely isolated. Then comes the idea that independence can sometimes turn into walls around yourself. I mean, that's a much heavier point than the earlier jokes. You can have the career, the money, the Instagram life, and still feel empty when nobody's beside you. And that's where this gets really interesting.
Pick-me's. The loneliness epidemic isn't an accident. It's what happens when you tell women to reject everything that actually fulfills them. You can have all the success in the world, but if you don't have real connection, you have nothing.
Can I have $40,000?
To do what with?
I just want $40,000.
What?
Dating today really sucks. Like, bad.
So I've been seeing some videos on my For You page, and I think that it is finally time to discuss the female loneliness epidemic. Because I know the men have had their own thing, and I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not a man, right? But I will say that the men are more built for it than us. We are not built for this shit, ladies. We don't know how to be alone. These men have been bottling up their emotions and not sharing them with anybody since they were 6, 7, 8 years old. Some of us have never done that. We've always had someone to talk to, a friend, a family member, a significant other, something. And it seems like in 2025, the girls are running out of options.
Where is my man at? Where is my man at?
Nah, where is my man at? Might be the most relatable line in this entire segment. Now we're getting the argument that some women may have already met a perfectly decent guy, but rejected him because he wasn't tall enough, flashy enough, or high status enough. And apparently the DMs are full of men willing to treat them well, but those aren't necessarily the men they're choosing. Wait, because if you're only looking at the top few percent, the dating pool suddenly gets very small.
I hate to make my entire life about relationships, but where is my man at?
Sweetheart, women are way more lonelier than men. This is why women stay in toxic, abusive relationships, because they're afraid to be alone.
There's an epidemic of men not approaching women at the bar. Let's talk about it. Men are afraid of being rejected, but I bet you 90% of the women will actually not reject you if you approach them right.
Seriously, we're now at the bar where the complaint is that men aren't approaching anymore, followed by the question of whether the bar is even the right place to find a husband. Then we get the 365-day husband search, and she's already 164 days in. Bro, we're halfway through the mission, and the husband is still missing. Then the dating profile gets audited, and somehow baptism, dating apps, and if Jesus can't fix it, who can, all end up in the same conversation. This is pure chaos.
Please. I'm on a journey to find a husband in 365 days. Today is 164 days in, and I have no prospects. I got baptized yesterday, so let's go ahead and audit my dating app profile. 4 days in, and I have no prospects. I got baptized yesterday, so let's go ahead and audit.
We're officially shopping for husbands at hardware store now. Plumbers? Electricians? Gardeners? Anybody? This woman is checking Bunnings like it's a dating convention. Then she admits nobody showed up except older people, and suddenly we're back to the bigger question. How do I not have a boyfriend? The response is basically that looking attractive isn't the entire relationship package. Wait, because now we're talking about kindness, nurturing, cooking, cleaning, and actually retaining a partner. That's the real test.
My dating app profile. Because if Jesus can't fix it, who can? First prompt says, I want someone who come obsessed and ready to be adored. Enjoy the moment. Be silly. Dance with me. Sing in traffic. Put the phone down sometimes.
I've seen multiple men that I can think of right off the top of my head who are highly successful, who are good looking, who are in shape, family guys who provided their wives with everything they could ever want, get cheated on, get completely backstabbed and betrayed. After being married for years, after having children with these women, literally built their entire life around this woman and given her everything that she's wanted, just for her to turn around and go and fuck their friends.
It's an evil world we live in.
Day 3, trying to find a husband. Let's go to Bunnings. Any plumbers? Where am I? 5 plumbers. Okay, let's go into lighting, see if I can find an electrician. Any spuckies? Barbecues. Guys are always in barbecues. Waiting. See you. Gardeners, landscapers. Anyone? Better luck next time, Bunnings. But first, sausage sizzle. Well, I might have to try another day. That didn't really pan out. No one was there except for old people. Might have to try a different day of the week.
When I look like this, I'm like, how do I not have a boyfriend? But then I look at me and I'm like, of course I don't have a boyfriend. Look like this, I'm like, how do I not have a boyfriend? But then I look at me and I'm like, of course I don't have a boyfriend. Not everyone can handle a bad bitch.
I'm starting to realize that, yes, men and women are delusional, but women, y'all are very much delusional because it's a narrative. It's a false narrative on these here TikTok streets that somehow men are lonely and women are turning their back on men and men just can't get any women and, so on and so. Do y'all know how many desperate women there are out here? That man could punch babies for a living. And there will always be a woman there to love him, take care of him, be with him, have sex with him, do whatever. Lick up the crumbs that he throws on the floor. That man could be on a DL. He could be a serial cheater, abuser, in and out of jail. There's going to be at least 1 to 2 women.
And here comes the grand finale, the claim that women aren't the only ones who can be delusional, but that there's still plenty of people willing to tolerate terrible behavior just to avoid being alone. Cheating, abuse, jail, serial behavior, the list gets darker by the second. And somehow this entire video started with a dating statistic and ended with the absolute mess of modern relationships. Chuckle. Well, that was a complete dating disaster. If you enjoy relationship drama that goes completely off the rails, hit like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the